Welcome to Meet the Authors. I'm your host, Philip Levin. So glad you could bring us back into your home. Mississippi has a long history of having great authors, from Eudora Welty to Tennessee Williams, John Grisham, Greg Iles, so many great authors. And we have several with you today. As you know, we've had 30 different authors on our show, and we have 3 to present today. We have LaTroya Hughes is going to talk about her book and her publishing company, Journey to Igniting. And we have Patty Bukovich, a longtime friend of mine who has been Poet of the Year here and president of the South Mississippi Poetry Society, and she'll be reading her poems and presenting her book. And for our third guest, which we'll actually start with, we have a new segment. You have to start as a writer somewhere, and fortunately, we start them young here in Mississippi, and our first guest is going to be the guest of our new segment, Aspiring Authors, with Stacey Thompson. Stacey, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, Philip.
I'm so glad you could come. So,
Absolutely.
You're an aspiring author. How exciting.
I am.
Tell me about your ambitions to be a writer.
My ambitions started with my inspiration just that comes from within. I started getting inspired faster than my hands could type or write, so it just started to flow out onto paper. I started as a blog writer, doing mostly motivation on social media. I would put quotes on pictures that were motivating or inspiring, uplifting, and that has evolved to writing a book. I thought at first that I wasn't able to elaborate enough to get enough out for a book. And then one day it just started flowing out and the pages just kept coming. So
How exciting. How many words do you have in your book?
So far I have about 30,000.
30,000. That's about half a book.
About half a book, right.
And what's your book about?
It is about the evolution of the human mind, how to access a greater percentage of our brain to find happiness and create the lives that we wish to have into existence.
And what is it that your ambitions are, besides being a blogger and writer?
My passion is to help others. I have had a long list of traumatic experiences in my life that I have had to overcome, and I've had to self-teach myself how to overcome those debilitating, limiting beliefs. So my passion is to help others overcome those limiting beliefs that hold us back from achieving a true life of happiness.
You know, you seem so young, so beautiful, and so
Thank
optimistic. When you say I've had all these traumatic events, it's almost, it's stark from where we see you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind tell us a few things that have happened to you that has inspired you to write this and become a more, someone who would help others?
Well, I guess I'll have to get pretty deep with my story here, but I don't mind because it's part of my book, it's part of my journey. I was verbally and physically abused growing up, and I lived within the confines of my own mind, and I had no idea that I was in control of how I reacted to the life around me. So once I started to realize that I had control of my emotions and the way that I reacted to what happened to me, I understood how to take the power back to kind of manipulate it in a positive way, to turn every traumatic event into a positivity.
People have a hard time doing that. Traumatic events will just, so many people just cower from them, and I've known so many people who never recover from that type of thing. How does your writing, how has your blogs helped you overcome these type of events?
I think just writing about it helps me get out of a dark place, because anytime that I've been in one of those dark times, I kind of write my own motivation out of it from a perspective of what I would say to someone in my position. And just writing about it helps me overcome it. It gives me my own motivation, my own inspiration to overcome these things, to know that I have the power to.
So you're young, and we're looking at how young writers get into this field and produce. I said recently, I'm a writer in a world that doesn't read anymore. So you're writing your blog. Tell me, how many people do you have following your blog?
I actually haven't promoted it very much.
This is your opportunity.
I know. Go check it out. I have, honestly, I think I might have one that's signed up as an email, because I haven't done any promotion or marketing. It just simply uploads to my Facebook. It's not something that I've really put a lot of time into, but I would like to, now that these downloads are starting to come through, and it's something that I want to put out there. I've had a hard time putting my life on social media, so to speak. I've kind of been in my own little world as a recluse, just discovering my own passions, but I'm ready to put more out there.
I'm so excited for you. It's good to see someone who's interested in writing and inspiring others. Stacey, thanks for coming.
Thank
we really
you for
appreciate
having
it. For those of you who will be interested in visiting us and having other people come, if you have a child or you yourself are young and want to get into this aspiring writing, we'd love to have you visit us. So contact me at this is Thompson and Stacey's website, and now there is my website. You can contact me to get yourself onto our show. Anybody who's a writer, especially a published writer in this area. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages with our two new writers. We'd like to present Patty Bukovich, her poetry book, and LaTracy Hughes with her journal anthology. So stay tuned, and Meet the Authors will be back right after this.